Hello, welcome to this week's Generation Iron podcast. Your host, me, Victor Martinez, along with Edwin Mejia and Vlad Yudin. We're missing Ehsan today.
We're in the HQ today in Manhattan, but we'll be back in the gym soon.
Yeah, we're back at HQ now, obviously here in New York City. Thank you again for all these great questions. Vic, we got another set of questions. And
we got a critic today, though, my favorite.
And a critic.
Let's go.
We love the critics. Keep submitting the critiques, guys. So this week we got a critic by the name of Venguaruha. And nonsense bodybuilding is a sport. Mr. Olympia, etc. are physique pageants.
This is in relation to a few episodes ago, you made a comment, and I knew it was going to be a problem with some people. You said that bodybuilding shows are pageants, and I guess he's saying is he saying nonsense bodybuilding is a sport? Is he saying it's a sport or is it not a sport?
He's saying it's a sport,
right?
But then again, he's contradicting saying that Mr. Olympia physique is pageants.
Oh, men's physique is a pageant, he's saying.
Hey, listen,
but
man.
men's open is not a pageant.
Listen, I don't know. I know, obviously, you are a bodybuilder. You don't like physique. Bodybuilding is done by many that do sports. I do agree. And I did start it out as a sport to help my other sports. But bodybuilding as a whole, when you come down to it, you got to remember there's no actual athleticism involved unless you're doing fitness.
What are he flexing on stage? I don't know.
I mean, that's, there's nothing better than a beauty pageant when you get to smile on stage and get to flex with your muscles, It's like, it's just great. But, I mean, come on, give me something better, to kind of, agree to disagree with me or make your point, I think Lee Priest once said, I think bodybuilding should be judged, not just by the judges on the panel, but by the athletes. The top two or the top three, just make it a race at the end. Make it a 100 dash. That should have been.
He said that?
Yeah, he did say that years ago. I read it in the magazine. Lee Priest is always funny, always has a good joke to crack about bodybuilding. But again, we are doing it. We love it. We live by it. We're not going to stop. And again, you can disagree, but when it comes down to being an actual sport, but to compete with athleticism, it is not. You're standing up there, the oil glistening in your body, showing your cuts and striations, and you're just kind of standing and being shuffled around and being compared in the end. And that's just what it is. Do I love it still? Yes. I will die loving it, and I will never stop loving it. So please, give me something else. Give me something else.
And in the comments, guys, if you disagree with Vic, just really express the point of view in detail. Because the guy didn't really express himself,
Again, we're always gonna have critics. I think it's good to have people that have opposing views. Great conversation, and we love it here at Generation Iron.
No, and again, he's probably, I know he's defending in a way. I probably would have done the same thing years ago, but when you kind of look at it and been through it, this is in no way me being bitter at all.
Right.
I love it. I support the shows. I still go to shows, whether I have athletes in it or not.
And you're a promoter as well.
Yeah, and I'm a promoter. So, I mean, this was in no way in distaste or dislike of it. So, get it straight, all right?
All right, so let's go to the question of the week, brought to us by Dialed Moods.
Yeah, we want to thank Dialed Moods for being not only the supporter and sponsor of this podcast, but obviously they have an amazing new energy drink, RTD, that is really, really great. I mean, no crashes, dial your mood up, try them out, great energy. And obviously our question of the week gets their selection of Dialed Moods energy drink and their flavor. And that comes to us from Fenster Penser 3701. I hope I
love these names. I love these names.
Nothing like a good email name.
I know.
And the question is, can you talk about antidepressants and benzos, how they affect strength and muscle building?
Antidepressants might help if you are loaded up, let's say on some, thermogenics, any sort of speedy drugs that will not let you sleep, and you need to go into a deep sleep. In a nice, sleepless slumber, where you just kind of want to rest and recover. Right. In that way, can it help? Yes. The problem is that it's not to build actual muscle. You know, you actually have other alternatives to that. There's actually sleep supplements for that can mimic the effect of the benzos, but people like the benzos because of the high. Admit it, you want to get high and that's it. You got to remember, a lot of bodybuilders, regardless of how healthy they think they are, they just, they put themselves, and I keep mentioning it, through the grinder. Here you are, you're taking steroids, you want to build muscle, you want to lose fat. And on the other end, you're here partying, you're taking the benzos, you're taking the pain pills, and it becomes a whole cocktail of...
That's no longer a bodybuilding at that point, right?
Well, you're still in it. The problem is you're really just going for that high, that push until you get to the top of that mountain, and then you're gonna come crashing down, and eventually it's gonna be bad news after that. So the benzos, again, in moderations, you wanna take it because you're having a hard time resting, sleeping, whatever psychological problems you might have. Again, it's not gonna mask it. It's just gonna increase it, because once you get off, you're gonna hit the crash. So the benzos are not for muscle building, just the steroids you're taking are. Benzos to rest and recover might be taken, but then again, you have to now wake up, and you're gonna wake up so sluggish, you're gonna now need a pick-me-up in the morning. So
I need some kind of other drug you need.
You're gonna need another drug for that. So what's it gonna be? Is it gonna be your...
It's a cycle of never-ending.
Yes. Right? Is it gonna be Adderall? Is it gonna be, speed? What's it gonna be? Some different thing. So it becomes that vicious cycle. So the best thing I could recommend is stay away from the benzos. Go to your GNC supplement store. There's a lot of sleep supplements now. They didn't have that many back in the days. They do now. So there's always a safer alternative. I would have to say, try the alternative before you go into the prescription drugs, because it's just gonna create that vicious cycle, and you're gonna try to find a quick fix, which is never gonna be a quick fix. It's just gonna spiral into something else.
You seen guys taking antidepressants and out of the pros I'm talking about?
Come on, man. I've seen guys take so many things. They should be pharmacists. And again, it's just, you get into that cycle. You think you have it under control until you don't. And it's, you always feel like you're a functioning, pill popper. And you're only gonna function for a small amount of time, because then what's gonna happen is it's not enough. You're gonna need more. You don't have enough. Now you don't have the pick-me-up. And it's just gonna create a loop where you're just gonna be stuck in it. By the time you realize it, 10, 20 years pass by. And you're like, man, now I realize I'm an addict. And
that's sad, man.
There are many, and we're not here to judge you. We're just here to give you the pros and cons, and those are the pros and the cons. So the best thing is just avoid the benzos, avoid the Xanax. And again, you're not gonna listen to me. But
no, maybe they will.
No, they will. They will.
I think some of them actually.
No, it's
will.
just an opinion. Again, remember, I'm on your side. I'm on your side.
And it's
I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to judge you at all.
This is not a doctor here. This is from experiences you've seen. That's why I feel like it's an important.
Experiences right in the forefront, in the trenches.
That's a good question, because it's a good question because a lot of people are on antidepressants, and they want to know, right? I want to know what are the benefits to being on them if you're on them, and then what causes you to be more depressed if you're going to the gym, and how do you
remember also, Edwin, it's just the anxiety too.
Right.
The anxiety of social media, anxiety of you not achieving your goals, anxiety of, am I not building enough muscle? Yeah. You're looking in the mirror, you're in good shape, but you see yourself in some alternate, state of mind that you're not in good shape. So at the end of the day, it's just, take pictures, take a caliber where you are, check out your improvements. Don't beat yourself up so hard, but definitely do not get yourself into that cycle. And
I agree.
It's just, you are going to build muscle regardless, the nutrition, the training, without anything, with regular, supplements over the counter. You are going to get in shape. Again, you want to go to that next level. You want to push yourself to the next level. Try to stick steady. You're going to use the juice, fine. Moderation. But the other drugs, the alternative drugs, the pain pills, the benzos, the antidepressants, that's going to create a little obstacle for you down the road.
All right, what's the guy's name that won?
So you're this week's winner. So the winner this week again is Fenter Penster 3701.
Spencer.
You're this week's winner. Thank you for submitting your questions. Continue to submit your questions, and you're this week's winner of Dalmood subs. Make sure you guys check them out. Can Vic talk about his experiences in going through hard times, overcoming mental stress, and still pushing through at the gym? So basically, the question is, can Vic talk about his experiences in going through difficult times to help you motivate yourself to go through the gym?
And you've been through a fair share of
Man, you guys cover most of it,
And Victor is a perfect person to ask that question to, because we worked in Generation Iron. If you haven't seen it, it's on Prime, and it's all over. It was on Netflix for a while too.
Yeah.
But you can check that out. Victor, we documented that, that part of your story. You went through a lot of obstacles.
No matter what, you will face
issues. It's either gonna be with your woman, it's either gonna be with your job, it's just gonna be with your family, anybody, death, you name it, it's just gonna happen. The thing that I can only recommend is when it does happen, just don't freak out. You have to hold steady. You have to kind of look at the problem, stare at it in the face, whatever the issue is, the pain, just face it and don't crumble with that pressure. I know it's a cliche, they say, this too shall pass, but it will. Let that shit burn, man. Let it burn, just keep training, focus, make a few changes. If you have a coach, please try to, get a little bit closer to your coach and try to figure out the problem. If it's something, an injury, just, forget about bodybuilding, because you're gonna start thinking, oh man, I can't bodybuild, this happened to me. And all I could do is, let me take care of this injury. Let me see if I can do anything to make me bounce back.
People have a different form of reacting to it. And honestly, it's sometimes for people, it's not as easy as like, hey, let me just get myself straight. Yeah, it is. But you have to find that one thing that sparks that motivation inside of you.
Yes.
It's true when if you're feeling down and you drink or you do drugs, it's always the worst, because when the hangover comes in, it's that 10 times worse, right?
Yes, because it's still lingering there. Now you're gonna, come
you
back.
mask it for a little bit, and
you're masking it.
Man,
there's nothing, in my opinion, like the high you get from being, let's say you're down today and this week, and then all of a sudden you get back into the gym next week, killing your ass to make sure you're better, and you start to see those results on your own that next day, that next week. There's no better high than that.
Yes.
Have you had a moment where you actually felt like I'm just really because you're the type of person, you always muscle through everything, right?
Yeah.
Metaphorically speaking, but have you ever had a moment where you face something, I just can't go to the gym today, I just can't. I can mentally be there, you know what I mean?
For me, I always found, my solution was everything the gym,
You found answers always there.
Yeah, it's always been the gym, I'm having a bad day, I'm going to the gym. Having a good day, I'm going to the gym.
Happy Saturday.
So, I'm struggling, I'm going to the gym. So I always found that, and I found that early as a teenager, that I said, no matter what, good or bad, I'm gonna go to the gym. Obviously, even injuries try to keep me from the gym. I went to the gym, freaking one crutch. Go through that suffering and feel that pain. And believe it or not, that pain is gonna make you feel alive, and it's gonna let you see things a whole lot clearer, because masking it is just gonna confuse you a little bit more. So so do the opposite, So, don't go to the strip club, which is just gonna be temporary for those couple of hours you'll be there. And again, if you need to do it once, go ahead, fine, but you're gonna see that it's just gonna be emptiness still. So just do the opposite. Do the opposite of what you thought was right, or do the opposite of what you think is gonna help you forget, and just deal with it, face it, and you're gonna see that the pain alone, once you scorch the earth with everything, a new, field will grow for you to blossom.
Sometimes it's so difficult to convince people of that,
Yeah.
People are depressed, you can't.
No, it's easy. Once, it's easy to tell them, but once you're facing and once you're there, you're already there. So remember that pain you're feeling, that hurt, and just, embrace the pain. And I'll tell you what, when you embrace the pain, it's a totally different feeling than just, getting high. It's just, it'll wake you up.
And that's what we noticed after doing Generation Iron and all these other films that we've done, is that everybody has their way of dealing with issues, but the gym has become that mental kind of like stability, right? That location, that place where you can really evolve, grow, and become better version
I know. The worst thing that happened is actually when you're going through a problem, you get to the gym because that's your Zen place. You want to work out, and then you run into an a-hole at the gym. It's
right.
Man, usually, it's only happened once to me. And
And you went off on him?
And it was just like, man, this is the excuse I need to unleash and let go of this pain. And it's never good because then you got to go to court and you need a lawyer. So, but it's that's the only thing. There's always going to be wrenches going your way, So your strong will is what's going to help you overcome anything.
Let's talk about something fun. So Jay Cutler, he revealed that when he was competing, he would spend $50,000 on food, groceries a year, which was back in 2000.
50 G's.
50 G's. What do you think about that number, by the way? Do you think
it's a high number, but it's up there. But then you look at
sponsorships and all those.
No. Was he eating at Roof Chris every night?
Probably not, but the thing is, so obviously we're talking about good food now, right? Because
that's good food. He's definitely not eating Costco, he's not eating no Costco food or BJ's or anything like that, but he's definitely loading up on some high-end meats, and that, he's not eating no stressed out chickens or anything like that. But
cage-free, grass-fed.
He's eating good, man.
Good chicken, yeah. I
don't know what amount, but definitely Jay can do that because he did not have child support. So Jay definitely.
Any hacks you can recommend to bodybuilders, young pros, or even amateurs that want to eat well and eat good food? Where do you recommend them getting the groceries?
Dexter said steak is steak. It doesn't matter. I beg to differ on that.
Right.
Good steak is way better than just any steak.
Yeah.
And you taste the difference, man. But again, I understand in one point, his only purpose was to eat the protein and just go through it. But you know what? When you want to chew on that nice tender meat, you got to go high end, man. You got to go to that.
You can't cut costs on that, basically?
No, on some good filet mignon, that's $25 a pound. You can't compare it to, a $10 a pound steak. It's a big difference.
Of course.
And
I get it.
Again, it's just going to be a different texture, a different feeling. Again, when you're dieting so much and when you're eating, I think Jay was eating something like 8-9 meals. I never got to 9 meals. I only ate as much as 7. And
still a lot.
It's still a lot, and I know he's definitely, I don't know, that's some good eating, and that's some prime he's taking there, boy. All that.
Where did you go shopping for food back then and now? Whole Foods?
What did you prefer? I always like Whole Foods. Whole Foods.
Yes. That's how you can go through 50K really quick.
I run into Victor at Whole Foods.
Yeah, that's it. I know everybody at Whole Foods. I've been going to Whole Foods for years, and again, that was due to my friend Mike McGuckin, and he took me there, and I was just like, "You just ruined me, man." It's like one of those things.
It's expensive, man.
It's actually the chicken is cheaper than most places.
In Whole Foods.
Yeah, it's actually cheaper.
What about Trader Joe's?
Ever since Amazon bought it, the chicken is lower.
Really?
Trader Joe's is good.
That's where I go.
That's where I get my eggs. I get my eggs at Trader Joe's.
It's a better value, right there.
Better value for the eggs, but the meats.
Yeah, it's not a place you go for meats, but it's good. It's a good place.
You go Whole Foods, Christie's, West Side Market. Those are all New York spots, but you can't. Once you eat meat in those places, you are ruined. You are ruined. You can't go to your C-towns. You can go to your Pathmark, AMP, or whatever the hell is by your neighborhood. ShopRite. Once you eat.
ShopRite's no good?
ShopRite, again, it depends what you're buying,
Like meats, but produce.
Yeah, no, produce, again, ShopRite does have good produce though, but I do have a Produce Connect, so I don't need
yeah? You know the company is called, I think it's like Chicken Pound or something, they deliver a chicken. Is that good or not good? I've seen a lot of people
never ordered Chicken Pound. I just like
in my opinion, anytime you get delivery involved in any order, you're gonna you're gonna have a surcharge. And I don't think it's.
Right.
I think that unfortunately, I mean, it's just a convenience factor.
Yeah.
You're
They're
just
cooking
paying
it
for the
for you.
convenience factor.
Yeah.
So
the
you're going to be
prepping.
paying a higher fee margin for delivery. I think if you go to the right stores or you have the right connections, wholesale connections, then you'll be fine.
Right. But if you don't have Whole Foods money, then where would you go?
Get a job at Whole Foods. Get the employee
there you
discount.
go. That's
Get the
smart.
employee discount. When I first started at 19, I couldn't afford this food, and the hunger was starting. So I started working for Marriott Food Service. So as soon as you got there, I was eating my freaking 10, 20 eggs. I'll take another 10 home.
Oh, that's smart.
I would eat, so I was getting my calories because I was working right in the
That's
restaurant.
how Vic got so big.
Come on, man. And then actually, when I go to a restaurant, I will make friends with the managers. I
Get
would say, hey,
discounts or just freebies?
not freebies, man. I get the manager discounts.
There you go.
Sizzlers back in the days, but there's always a way, there's always a way. You got to find it. And I knew I had to feed the muscle. I know I had to feed my interest because I am bodybuilding.
So if you don't have a schmo, as you say, or if you don't have a connection to
a sponsor. Let's call them sponsors.
Right,
no more shows. A sponsor.
Or if you don't have a connection at Sizzlers, would you recommend then going to a Costco and buying meat there?
Again, you know
I think
what?
so. I think
a
so,
lot of people
right?
do Costco. It works. A lot of people are champions going to Costco. It works. It's just some taste buds a little bit more sensitive than others, and they like that different, I mean, they like the pasteurized eggs. You ever had a pasteurized egg?
Yeah.
It's insane. You ever had an ostrich egg?
In DR,
a little
that's-
pricey.
Huge ostrich egg, yeah.
in DR,
pricey, but-
that's what they eat over there.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly. Like everything in DR is organic. Over
Yeah,
here,
which is
there's
good.
levels to food.
Yeah.
There's like crazy bad, horribly bad.
What about going to a
good and super good?
What about finding a farm, like a farm, and going to a
Yes.
farm?
Every
right?
time I go upstate, you drive through the farms. Amish, can't go wrong with Amish.
They have Amish in upstate New York?
Yeah, going to PA.
Well,
Yeah, you go visit some friends, keep your eyes peeled. Usually when you go off the roads, all the farms, I would see eggs, and I would just pull over. I'll
Yeah.
get better prices. And again, you're buying straight from the farm.
smart.
Support local farms.
And it's organic probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially if you go up north to Vermont.
So that's the best way to save money. But there's also a saying where if you have money, there's no reason for you to be out of shape, right?
No,
That's one of the
no.
questions.
Yeah, there's actually a cool
No
topic.
excuse. No excuse there.
There's a saying, right? If you are rich, you have money, there's no excuse to be out of shape, right?
Not at all.
Do you agree with that statement?
Yes.
So this brings us to an interesting topic. Last month, there was a wedding in India. Anat Ambani, who was a son of a richest man in India, had a wedding. Now, this wedding, supposedly, they spent $300 to $600 million on that wedding.
Insane.
Basically, the biggest celebrities were there: Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, everybody in between. Crazy amount of gifts. Probably the biggest wedding of the year, right, in the world. Now, this guy, when you see pictures of him, right, we're probably going to show it here, he's got criticized because he looks out of shape. He looks overweight. So people are saying, what's going on? You're a billionaire, you have this wedding.
Yeah, I
you
see
look out of
his
shape. So a lot of
picture.
people in the comments were like putting him down. Now, according to a lot of people, if you have money, why you're out of shape, right? So what do you think about that? Are you
Yeah.
shaming him, or do you agree to something?
And again, that goes mostly with a lot of Hollywood people, people that own corporations, companies. When I look at him, it looks basically,
Like he's sick or something, right?
he looks a little unwell,
Yeah.
So to judge him, assuming he's healthy enough to exercise, is one thing. But if he's eating in bed, shame on him, because at the end of the day, you should be having your food catered, brought to you, whatever meals per day. You should have a super top trainer. I mean, you have that much money, you could literally have The Rock training you, But again, without knowing any of the facts, I can't really say so. But if he is unhealthy, I don't know what it is. I did see his swollen ankles. That's usually not a good sign.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I'm not going to criticize him, not knowing the fact and how sick he is. But let's say you are healthy, you don't have any underlying issues, and you are super fat and overweight. It's like, that's all on you. You just nasty, don't want to take care of yourself.
He doesn't have to go to Costco's, basically.
Yeah. Come on now.
I think,
now.
you know,
could be
it's
having
crazy.
the cow cut
Yeah.
right there in your backyard, you know?
Well, I think a lot of it's funny you mentioned that because in India has been criticized because it's one of these countries where there's not a lot of meat eaters. There's a lot of vegans there. I'm sorry, vegetarians there. There's a lot of vegetarians there.
But when they are vegetarians and they're all overweight, they're definitely frying the lettuce. They're frying.
And then the obesity rates in India are skyrocketing. So that goes to show you that they're just bad eating habits, you know. And I think a lot of that could be eliminated with the gym, of course.
Back in the day in India, I don't know, probably not right now, but actually, if you have weight on you, that shows a certain.
It would show rich, it shows
that you're
a class, high-end class,
exactly.
whatever.
Well, that's probably changing now for sure.
I know. But in India,
Speaking of money and fitness, there was actually a few months ago a story. A guy, I forgot his name. He's like a fitness trainer, but he started. It's kind of like a gimmicky thing, but he started a program, and it said you can only join this fitness program of mine if you make $100,000 a year.
oh yeah, I saw that. That's just already. He wants your money.
People went in on him in the comments.
Yeah.
He actually was defending himself. He's like, I'm only want serious people that have income, that are focused. You know what I mean?
I know. He wants that money. You know,
Yeah, he
wants
wants
that money. But what goes to show that his system would not work with a $50 an hour client trainer.
Right.
Well, you can't hate on that guy because at the end of the day, there's all these coaches online right now. Like
There's
millions
a lot
of
of coaches. He probably has a system. He believes in his system that it's worth this amount. You know what they say, you know, you should know your worth. He probably knows his worth, and that's it. You know, don't hate the hustle. Don't hate it.
No, not at all.
But I know it's a lot of money, and some trainers and people out there can afford these kind
he's
of
not
trainers.
charging $100,000 per year. He wants only clients that make $100,000.
So you have to verify.
That will actually have to pay him a lot of money because he's not doing this for no
no reason.
Yeah. So he wants to make sure that you're clear. It's kind of like that club they have in the city here. You know, you got to show $50,000 in the bank.
Yeah, there's a new club in New York now that says that supposedly, or they're opening supposedly that you have to have at least $50K in the bank.
But it's a gimmicks though, right? I mean,
it's a gimmick. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, he's going to show the chapeadoras where to go. That's
Chappies.
Are you asking this for both the men and the women? You know, I just want to know.
What if
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So every woman that pretty much gets one of these guys that show his bank account has to give the club a cut. You know,
Right, just a finder's fee.
Yeah.
Speaking of money, we have a film coming out this month. September 20th is coming out. It's starring Mark Cuban, Lou Ferrigno,
Jeff Said is in it. You know,
a bunch of other people, but Mark Cuban is one of the key.
Brooke Burke is in it as well.
Burke, yeah, and it's about it's called Aging Evolution. It's directed by Jason Ellis, and it's about aging gracefully and fit, and it's about being fit as you age. Basically, it's a cool film. It's coming out this month, and I think you'll enjoy it, Vic.
Yeah, it's a longevity. It's a film on longevity. Obviously, that's a big topic now. You see all these guys.
Big topic. He's also a big money generator.
Big business, of course.
You see guys like Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon. You see Mark Wahlberg all getting fit, looking ripped, and shredded. And, you know, look, a lot of these guys probably aren't TRT, but the goal is obviously to have improved lifestyle, longevity, and having a quality life, right? And being the fit executive is no longer about being the overweight, you know, guy with the glasses and the beer bellies. People want to be in shape, and I guess this particular film includes all these athletes and includes all these fitness influencers. Even CT Fletcher's in it.
Michael Hearn.
Michael Hearn is in it, and then it's obviously a big topic of longevity. Is how do you increase the quality of your life? Live the most optimal life, and that film answers that question.
So I'm sure they'll probably show the dieting, the training part.
It's different styles approaching to aging, basically.
Yeah. So I want to know if they cover the the Florida doctors, the anti-aging doctors. You know,
there's a bunch of
the
stuff.
billion-dollar companies. You know, that actually are gaining a big following just from having their cocktails. So I like to.
It's a cool film. It's a cool film.
Yeah. So you saw the. What do you say? The trailer or something? They already have the trailer on it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the trailer's out right now.
Okay.
And it's coming out this month, September. September 20th, actually.
Make sure you
Screening.
check it out.
You see the screening. That's what I want.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
All right. That's all right. All right. So I love to see it and all that because it's definitely a new era. A new era. I mean, before CEOs used to just get so out of shape, and now you see them. It's a whole different level.
Incredible.
Everyone works out now.
It's incredible.
That's why so many gyms, so many one-on-one gyms, and the only reason you stay out of shape because you choose to be out of shape.
I think the biggest flex these days is being an executive and having muscle.
Yes.
I mean, that's a flex, I think.
Or looking healthy. Yeah, looking healthy.
Yeah, looking healthy but having muscle, because in some ways it's easy to be very thin and it's very easy to be overweight, but it's very
both
hard.
at the same
It's
time.
hard to retain muscle.
Skinny fat.
as you
Also
can.
on investments. I mean,
Right.
you want somebody to invest in you, you look like you're gonna die next week by looking like
Not
a
good.
blimp. Nobody's gonna do
Not
it.
good.
You know?
Not a
Not
good
good.
look.
It's bad for your stock. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Nobody's hiring those guys.
No.
All right, guys, check out the trailer now, and please submit your questions or your criticism for Victor.
Yes. Come on, guys. You could criticize, but at the end of the day, I'm on your side, all right? All right. Thank you for joining us in this week's podcast. Remember to follow us, like, and comment. And if you want to see any of our prior podcasts, please tune into iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you stream. Till next time.
Peace.
What is up, guys? Keem Williams here, and I'm here today in the Muscle Meds warehouse with this amazing product. It's called Aromatest. Aromatest is a natural aromatase inhibitor that's going to keep your estrogen levels low. Elevated estrogen levels can lead to three things: a bloated look, which is caused from water retention, increased body fat, and also gynecomastia, which are three things that you definitely want to avoid. So head to the website today at www.musclemedrx.com and try the Aromatest today.